Metropolitan Baptist Church, founded in 1864, has been blessed with 5 excellent pastors, and with them, the church has had some extraordinary first ladies. While we do not know her name, the wife of our first pastor, Reverend Henry Bailey, undoubtedly stood by his side as he answered God's call to lead this branch of Zion during a period of transition for African Americans from slavery to freedom. First Lady Martha Johnson, the wife of our second pastor, Reverend Robert Johnson, was very active in the church and believed in being a good steward and outstanding example to her children. Her motto was, "Education is the foundation of life." First Lady Fannie B. Norman, the first wife of our third pastor, Reverend Dr. Moses W. D. Norman, was known for her musical talents. An accomplished musician, Mrs. Norman encouraged others to pursue their dreams and to be confident in their own gifts. She is credited for helping our acclaimed music ministry to sing to the glory of God. She made other notable contributions to the growth of the church and its ministries. Dr. Norman's second wife, First Lady Ethel Norman, was known for her giving spirit and belief that it is the church's responsibility to spread the power of God's love whenever we can. First Lady Mamie O. Smith, the first wife of our fourth pastor, Reverend Dr. E.C. Smith, had a warm spirit and outgoing personality. Her charming disposition won the affections and admiration of the entire congregation. With every smile, hug, and kind word, she made people feel welcomed in the house of the Lord and worked earnestly to share the joy of God's grace with everyone. After her passing, Pastor Smith met and married First Lady Dorothy B. Smith. She was not only a positive and powerful force within the church, but also in the community. She served as the chairperson of the Interracial Activities Committee and was the founder and president of the Questers. Like many of the women of the Bible, these servants of God gave selflessly to the building of God's kingdom here on earth. Metropolitan was made better because of God's calling on their lives to serve Him and the congregation alongside their husbands. The legacy of service, love, faithfulness, commitment, and family still continues with our friend, our sister in Christ, and our ministry leader, Dr. Elizabeth Harrison Hicks. Here's an intimate look at the life of our First Lady.
Lady Liz, as many of us affectionately call her, is in a class all her own. So today, I will be able to sneak a few moments with her. And maybe we get a few moments in that infamous closet of hers. You know, for some research possibly. So we are so excited to be with you today in a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere to learn a lot more about you, Lady Liz. Do you remember who the first person was that called you Lady Liz, or when that started? Did that start in D.C.?
Lady Liz did start in D.C. When we first came to D.C., however, I was called like First Lady. But I remember we had a guest minister that came and spoke at the church. He made the comment that if there is a First Lady, then there must also be a Second Lady and possibly a Third Lady. So there's no confusion with first, second, or whatever. I was just Lady Liz. I love it.
Talk to us a little bit about your childhood. Were you born in a hospital?
No, I was not born in a hospital. I was born on a small street in Selma, Alabama. I was the first of my siblings to actually be born in the city and to be attended by a physician. I spent most of my early childhood days in Ottawa County, Alabama, with my grandparents. And as was the custom in my family, after we were born, we spent our time with our extended family in the country. And I mean the real country.
So you're a country girl.
I'm a country girl. I learned how to go to the hen house and get the eggs out of the hen house. And I'll never forget, one day I went and I checked each little cubby for the eggs. And when I got to the very last one, there was a chicken snake in it.
Oh,
and so my brother came out with a .22 rifle and he shot it out because I had run back up to that house so fast. Saying, there's a snake. That same rifle is one that I used to learn how to shoot across the road.
So did we know our First Lady was was a shooter? Did we know our First Lady was a shooter? Awesome.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that you come from a family of educators. Did that inspire you to also go into education?
I really didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew was that I was going to college because that was instilled in me. And no one tried to really steer me in any one direction. It was my brother, my oldest brother, who sort of told me, you might want to take the teacher's education classes. The thing about it at that time, I had just begun to date my husband, and we had actually begun to talk about getting married. We moved to Rochester, New York, where he was already in divinity school. The job that I got was teaching at Caledonia Muffa Central School. And I was the first black teacher, to teach in that school.
You met Pastor Hicks in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Yes.
How did you two meet?
We met at a reception that was being given for some African dignitaries who was visiting the campus. I was selected from my dorm as a representative, and he was selected from his dorm, and so we just met at this reception. Our first date was in January, so by April of 1964, we were at a jewelry store looking at rings.
Same year.
Same year.
So what is it like being married to one of America's most loved pastors?
Well, I enjoy being married. It just so happens that he is one of America's best loved pastors, as you said. He's a very considerate person, always remembering anniversaries, birthdays, asking what do you want to do, and trying to please me and trying to please, his family.
Let's talk about the kids. And let's take the opportunity to share and bless someone else. You and I have something that's very in common. We have an age gap with our kids. So you have Speedy, Ivan, and then there's a little bit of an age gap with Kristin. Why don't we talk about that?
Well, Kristin really thinks she's an only child. And I think that's due to the age difference. But all in all, it has worked out very well in terms of my boys' relationship with their sister, because they were glad to get a little sister too. What we wanted for our children was for them to grow up as normal as possible. What we didn't want to do was to put any kind of pressure on our children that would make them feel that they had to do something because their father was the pastor of the church. Each one is involved in church in some kind of way, one being a minister, one being an entrepreneur, and having also served as on the trustee board of the church where he's a member. And then, of course, our daughter, Kristin, even when she was living away from home, she was involved in church in California. And when she moved back, she found a different niche in the church.
She did.
But she works very well. So we're very pleased with the contribution that they has made in ministry wherever they have gone.
That's awesome. So you definitely found the advantage of not dictating, but encouraging them. You have been a part of some amazing organizations. American Lung Association, that wonderful sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Girlfriends. You also at Metropolitan were the executive director for Delta Adult Literacy Council. When did you start to take on the women's ministry at Metropolitan?
15 years ago. I'm the chairperson of the women's ministry, but I have a team of ladies that work with me. So many of the programs that have started since I have been chairperson of the women's ministry were actually ideas that came from others, not from me. And those who have benefited from those programs will often come to us and say, "Oh, I was just so blessed by what you all did for us."
I've got some more questions, but let's go off script. Can you take me into your closet, please?
Only if you promise to model some of my hats.
That's exactly what I want to do. We're in the closet. Woohoo! Thank you so much.
Oh, well, you're quite welcome.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So do you collect hats wherever you go? If you see a hat, you have to grab it?
I do. I love hats. And I just sit, I go online, and if I see a hat and like it, next thing I know, the charge card is out and I'm purchasing that hat online.
So you're serious about the hat.
I am serious about hats. Okay, so when two ladies who are wearing hats meet,
how do you greet one another?
And you know,
oh, that looks nice.
You sort of have to go like that.
I see.
And I think when two ladies meet and they have wide brim hats,
right?
You know, they sort of, there's an innate language, you know, as to say just what to do with that hat. You really look extraordinarily glamorous in hats.
Your hats. I've always loved your hats.
Hey, but look at that.
Oh, Sookie now.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see it, but I feel amazing.
Oh, now. Oh, look at that.
Oh, my goodness. Work it, work it. So when you walk, I guess people have to see you from behind to see the feathers.
Right.
So I am still amazed because I asked during this interview to come in here, and this closet looks like this. I'm amazed. Wow. Well, thank you for allowing us in your personal closet. This is absolutely wonderful. I need to go home and talk to my husband. My last question for you is, what is your prayer for Metropolitan?
My prayer for Metropolitan is that she will continue to be a blessing to all its members and to everyone she comes in contact with.
This has been a privilege to be with you, to get to know you even more. I've learned so much today. Thank you sincerely. Thank you.